This story is called Once Upon a Time a Small Piece of Metal Went Through My Eyeball. Alright. Hi, I'm Self Worth Sam. In 2008, I was working as a kitchen and bathroom tiler in Perth, Western Australia, my hometown. And I'd been working at the job for about 3 months, and my boss and I were in a renovation building, and we had to clean the floor before putting the tiles down. So there was this door frame, and I had to remove these small pieces of metal from around the frame because it was, I guess, setting overnight. And one of these pieces of metal was quite stuck. It was lodged in there nice and tight, and so I couldn't just pull it out. So I grabbed a hammer and a chisel and started tapping away to try and remove it. Well, that didn't work, so I gave it an almighty whack, and as the hammer hit the chisel, a small piece of metal broke off the chisel and flew directly through my left eyeball. And you could probably see from the light here, is probably good enough, you can see the scar where the metal went right through the pupil. And it didn't just go to the surface, it went all the way through my eyeball to the retina. Now the retina is the back wall beyond the eyeball. So imagine this is the eye, and then you have the socket, the eye socket. So the metal, tiny piece of metal about 2 millimeters in length, went all the way through the eyeball and got stuck in the retina, about 2 millimeters of metal. It was quite close to the optic fiber, or the optic nerve, sorry, not optic fiber. And if it had hit that, then it would have been permanent blindness, so said the doctor later on. And my safety glasses were on my head at the time. Now this pain caused me, this event caused me a lot of pain, as you can imagine. I had to go to hospital. They had to take my eyeball out of my head while I was asleep. In order that they could remove the piece of metal. Well, the doctors said the operation went really well. However, for the next 3 years, I was in a lot of pain. My eye was inflamed a lot of the time. I was almost diagnosed with Behçet's disorder, or Behçet's disease, which is a autoimmune disorder where the immune system thinks that there is something there, and so it will inflame the area. But I didn't meet all the criteria for that to be diagnosed. Needless to say, a lot of pain, a lot of depression because I was not able to work. My girlfriend at the time left me and ran out of money, and I was 28 years of age, so certainly the most depressed I'd ever felt in my life. And I know what it feels like to just wake up every day and feel heavy and not feel like getting out of bed at all, and knowing that I had to. And so for many months visiting specialists and being told I'm just going to have to keep taking medication and see what happens, I decided to take my healing into my own hands. And so I started to, I guess you could say, meditate, or have a conversation with my body and try to ask it what it was trying to tell me. And when I got really quiet and just listened, I could hear that my conscience or my heart was saying that I needed to slow down, I needed to trust myself and live more in the present moment. And at the time, being 28, I was quite ambitious and rushing around and thinking that I needed to do things quickly. And I think that was the best advice for me. And so I started to act as if I was someone who took their time and trusted themselves and lived in the moment, and kind of just made up what that would be like, or I guess you could say faked it till I made it. And would you believe it actually worked? So I went back to the specialist like a month or two later, no, it was about 3 months later, and they were looking through the microscope at my eye, and they said, the inflammation in your eye has completely gone. This is amazing. You can come off the medication and you can go for the second operation that I was due to have when the incident first happened. to put in a synthetic lens underneath the cornea, which is what I have now. I look back at that whole experience, and I can imagine most people would feel a bit of sadness around that. I look back now with an incredible amount of gratitude, and I'm glad that it happened the way it happened. Now, yes, it was painful, and it doesn't make it any less, traumatic to think about it, but there is an equal amount of positives that came out of that incident. It led me down a path to become a teacher, and it led me down a path of learning to listen to myself and to recognize that I have the ability to heal myself. And so that's the message I want people to take away from this video, is that you too have the ability to listen to your, let us call it, your inner wisdom, your body, your conscience, your heart. If you need healing, if there's something going on with you, there's some health issue or some psychological issue, that you can actually listen to yourself. You can actually ask yourself for advice, take your own advice, so to speak, and you will be able to heal yourself. It's a tried and tested approach, and I used it and it worked. So I think, you should. Oh, and make sure you wear safety glasses.